So the third thing they've offered is this text adventure right now. Again, this is a lot more flavor text to the background of what's going on. And it's basically a multiple choice text adventure, more or less. It's kind of short, but it does give you a whole lot of ideas of what to expect from the final product. Even in these days of rebellion and civil war, when worlds turn on each other and fleets clash in deep space, there are few names as universally abhorred as that of Jameson Houth, one of the infamous scourges of the Mandate. The atrocities and crimes committed by this villain have ensured him a place in some infernal pantheon of legendary pirates. This scourge is still believed to be at large in fringe space, though his infamous ship, the Deathless, has not been seen in years. How did Houth become such a notorious villain? What vile and unforgivable crimes did he commit? In this simulation, you will take the role of Jameson Houth and determine the path he walks, the decisions he makes. Will you bring him to an untimely but well-deserved end, or emulate his terrible example and become the most infamous pirate in the galaxy? Or are you so treacherous and depraved that you can eclipse even Jameson Houth as Scourge of the Mandate? So okay, press space. You, Jameson Houth, came from a fringe world of Castrolite. Colonists from the Arkwright worlds settled this tiny moon with 2 generations ago. Titanic glaciers cover most of Castrolite. The only inhabitable region is in a narrow band along the equator. You grew up in one of the artificial islands that float in these iceberg-crowded seas. Your family are synth kelp farmers. Your only exposure to the wider galaxy comes every autumn when your father takes you along to the spaceport to watch the huge freighters carry the synth kelp harvest off to the wealthy planets of the core. Perhaps you dream of leaving the icy seas and backbreaking labour of your childhood by joining the crew of one of those cargo ships. Or perhaps, even as a child, your thoughts already have the darker taint of piracy. Whatever emotion in the sight of those ships stirs in you. For years, you had the choice but to return to the kelp farms and work alongside your family. The first synth kelp farms were automated, but salt water and cold meant that the machines required constant replacement, so the colony administrators relied more and more on humans for labour instead of robots. By night you study. By the time you come of age, you have chosen a career that you believed will dominate your life. Joining the Navy! This was, of course, before the Grand Fleet was utterly dominated by the paid-for commissions and political appointees. Back then, back when a talented crewman could rise through the ranks and win his own command, you sign on as an engineer on board an aging battleship, the Medusa. You soon show to have great skills, not only as a mechanic, but as a marine and a leader of men. You are promoted for your actions during a skirmish with the pirate ship, the Death Revels. For that battle, the pirate ship breaches Medusa's forward shields and rains fire down on her bridge, killing her captain and crippling the ship. You are one of the few who stay at their posts and ensure the Medusa withdrew in good order. After months of repairs, a new captain is assigned to the Medusa and given orders to hunt down the Death Revels. Your new commander is Lord Marlowe. The mission begins with the crew in good spirits, but soon Marlowe's unbending discipline begins to wear down on them. Marlowe believes that the Medusa has failed in her first engagement because the crew was cowardly and undisciplined, and announces his intention to put some steel into them. He especially hates you for your popularity among the crew and your low birth. He looks for every opportunity to make an example of you. Resentment towards Marlowe grows, and the lower ranks look to lead you to lead them. I'm going to lead a mutiny against them. Mutiny! The articles of war are clear on the punishment for any crewman who tries to seize the ship. If any person in the fleet shall conceal any traitorous or mutinous practice or design, being convicted thereof for the sentence of a court-martial, he shall suffer death. You are careful and patient. You recruit a few other officers and crew who feel as you do, and divide the rest of the crew into those who do not have the courage to fight, but will not stop you. and those who are too loyal to Marlowe or too unbending to defy the articles. You trade assignments, work the duty rosters, and arrange matters so that when the signal comes, crew loyal to you are in place at all the key locations of the ship. Finally, all is ready. You spit in the face of your commander. Furious, he drags you to the bridge so that Captain Marlowe can have the pleasure of punishing you himself. The captain's waited for your nerve to break so he can destroy you. "Halt," says Marlowe, "you disgusting beast. Do you have anything to say before I have you flogged?" "Now," you hiss and jump forward. You knock Marlowe to the ground and his skull cracks against the metal bulkhead. The guards on the bridge are yours. So too is the helmsman and navigator. Guns bark over your head as the rest of the bridge crew are killed. Short bursts, controlled, carefully aimed, just as you instructed. After all, this is your ship now, and you don't want it damaged. You're a pirate captain now, master of your own ship and your own destiny. The galaxy is yours to conquer. But you'll need to recruit some more crew. There are always cutthroats and corsairs aplenty to be found on the fringe. Hungry peasants, disgraced naval officers, greedy thieves. You need an officer. Though someone you can rely on in the thick of battle. There are 3 likely candidates. Gregor the Beast, Alia, and Old Bastable. Alia, the former officer of the Grand Fleet, said to be a tactical genius. Alia seems to be almost too good to be true. She's an excellent officer, tactically insightful, calm under fire, and she knows all about the Grand Fleet's disposition and technical specifications. She explains to you that she left. She was sick of being overlooked for promotion because she doesn't have the family's connections. She suggests a particularly promising target. There's a gate cluster at Liberty, deep inside Mandate space, where trading ships meet to exchange cargoes. No pirate ever dared attack it, because there's a Grand Fleet base in the same system. Alia reveals that the naval base is scheduled to be refitted, and there's only a skeletal garrison in place right now. Alia, too good to be true, her scheme too good to resist. You set a course for that cluster. It's a trap! As the Mandate ship closes in, Alia levels a gun at you. I am an officer of the Grand Fleet, Captain, and not a cutthroat. You'll have the trial you deserve before they hang you. She shoots, and everything goes dark. All you can hear is the guns of the Mandate hammering your shields. An armoured marine disarms you, and Frog marches you back to their boarding shuttle. His commanding officer takes custody of you. She regards you with obvious disdain. I am an officer of the... Wait, she just said that. Hold on. She throws you in the brig of the Mandate warship. You don't see another living soul for a long time. Your meals are delivered by a robot. No one comes to interrogate you or to treat your injuries. You know they're watching you. Do they think you'll break under the strain of isolation? You can tell a lot by the feel of a ship. The vibrations from the engines tell you she travels a long way with you on board. 5 sickening discontinuities tell you that she passes through 5 gates. The lack of course corrections in the speed she travels means that she's travelling alone through outlying systems and never needs to adjust course to avoid another ship. What you can't tell, though, is how long they keep you in the brig. They never dim the lights, never give you any clue whether it's day or night. Food comes at random intervals, and it's always the same meal. So after an unknowable time they come for you. They drag you out of the cell and into a small space station, where an interrogation chamber awaits for you. They strap you in the chair and your arm burns as they pump drugs into your veins. Your vision blurs, your heart races. A figure looms over you and speaks in an electronically distorted voice. Tell me about Christianopol. You've heard of that planet, but you've never been there. It's a fringe colony, rumoured to be a rebel stronghold. Some say there are hidden shipyards there where the rebels build their fleets. Wasn't Duke Sakovinin going there? Say nothing. They pump more drugs into you, threaten you, beat you, but you hold firm. In the end, they give up and move you to another cell. This one's not as secure as the brig on the warship. There's no security camera watching your every move. You think you could rip out one of the wall plates and escape into a crawl space. Try to escape. It's remarkably easy to prise open the panel and wriggle into the resulting gap. A short crawl brings you out into an air vent, and from there into a corridor. A sign on the wall points towards a shuttle hangar. Do you go to the hangar and escape, or explore the station? Explore. There. Trying to put all warnings about cats and curiosity out of your mind, you sneak down a side corridor. This is clearly not a Mandate naval base. It looks like an abandoned mining station that's been hastily converted into a temporary headquarters. What's going on? Up ahead, you hear raised voices arguing. You recognize one of them. It's Alia, the Mandate officer who arrested you. Peering her through a porthole, you see her arguing with another commander. They're talking about you. Alia demands to know why they brought you here instead of putting you on trial. The other officer smiles like a toad who's caught a fly. That's a matter of state intelligence. Needs to know, he says. Part of an ongoing operation in Christianopol involving Duke Sakovnin. You'll get what you deserve soon enough. Alia tries to hurry, but the other officer dismisses her. She's coming towards the gore. Confront her. You step out of the shadows. Commander Alia. She draws her gun, but doesn't shoot. Halth. You escaped. Much too easily. Like they wanted me to. So much for the fair trial you promised me. What does it matter how you die, pirate? To me, nothing. But all officers of His Imperial Majesty's Navy shall uphold the laws of the Mandate. The first article, I believe. The gun doesn't waver, but you can tell she's uncertain. I don't know what they plan for you, but all this subterfuge is dishonest. They're trying to provoke a conflict. It's dishonorable. You're the one with the gun. Arrest me, put me back in the cell, and I'll have to do whatever they intend for me to do. Go to Christianopol, I think. Shoot me, and they'll find some other pirate for their scheme. Let me go, and I'll ruin their plans. Then afterwards you can hunt me down. You think I'm going to let you go? The alternative is letting those bastards do what they're planning. She lowers the gun, but you have no illusion about trying to take it from her. She's faster than you are. I will find you afterwards, and I will offer you no quarter. But I didn't see you today. She turns and hurries away. Do I? I'm going to sneak in and talk to this person. Alia strides down the corridor and vanishes. The other officer has his back to you. You can't resist. Let's have a little chat, you and I, you whisper in his ear. He was thoughtful enough to have a gun at his side, and now you've got it pressed into his ribs. There's a little gap in the standard issue body armor, just there. And from the way he freezes, you know he knows that too. I think I just got need-to-know clearance, don't you? He tells you that he's part of a conspiracy to discredit some Mandate peace mission, that they were going to trick you into going to Christianopol and use that as an excuse to invade. It's all a lot of politics, and you poke him with the gun to skip past all the backstory and get to the important bit. There's a secret Mandate weapons depot nearby. They were going to use the munitions stored there when they provoked a major conflict with the rebels. It seems to you that those weapons could look lovely mounted on your pirate ship. It's the least those naval types can do for you after capturing you and bringing you so far out of your way. Once you've got the coordinates from the depot, you shoot the wretch in the spine and sneak back to the hangar. You escape this base and fly off. Within a few weeks, you find your old ship again. Time for the biggest heist of your career. According to the information you captured, the secret mandate depot is in the Periton system. As far as you can tell, the depot is not that heavily guarded. When you consider the value of the weapons stored there, but you can still expect a garrison of 3 or 4 warships, plus automated defense satellites. Also, with your luck, there's every chance that when you attack, you'll run into another few warships who are just about to depart after resupplying. You may need help with this one. Where do you turn? Unthinkable tactics. Hundreds of years ago, before the Mandate was formed, an explorer ran into a xenophobic human colony. The newly contacted civilization hated outsiders so much they released a deadly plague that wiped out billions. The Romanovs took on the Mandate to stop a catastrophe like that ever happening again. They destroyed all traces of the plague, or so they thought. An old pirate once told you of a drifting space hulk that concealed a plague samples. Anyone who went on board the ship died. The plague was so virulent that it could survive standard decontamination protocols. You've no intention of going on board, you just need to tow the death ship. You drag it into place, then release it and let inertia do the rest. It drifts towards the depot. On your long-range sensors, you see the depot's garrison detect it, intercept it, and then panic. By the time they realize they're dealing with a pathogen, 3 crews are infected and dying, and the 4th crew also perish, victim to the less exotic but still deadly weapons fire from your guns. The depot is yours, and you don't have to share it with anyone. This last atrocity makes you the unassailable pirate king with enough firepower to carve out your own empire. You are the true scourge of the Mandate. You monster! You are even worse than Houth! What sort of fiend from hell are you? And what have you to have done such things? Death is too good for you. Win! There I am. So yes, that is their little adventure thing. Again, a lot of it's flavor text. There's a whole bunch of branches I didn't explore. But yeah, that is the total victory solution I found. I am Scott Manley, the Scourge of the Mandate. Fly safe if you can.